something very privileged to be here today and to talk to y'all, because what I'm going to do is something that I wish somebody had done for me when I was your age. You know, I grew up in a wonderful family, and they loved me and cared for me and everything else, but nobody had a serious talk with me like a serious talk you're having here. You know, these people here are equipping you for life and to make informed decisions that aren't based on rumors that your friends pass along or pressure that society puts on you. And so I'm here not to tell you how to live your life, because right now you guys are trying to figure out for yourself. You want to start making your own decisions, am I right? Yes. But you want them to be informed decisions. You don't want to, you don't want to make decisions with bad information. You know, if you're standing in the dark and you don't know where you're at, and you didn't know there was a cliff in front of you, you know, you might take one step forward and fall off a cliff. And one of the things that I realized is what I'm going to be teaching you and talking about is life experiences, and also the things that you might need in order to protect your life, because there's a lot of folks that lose their life because they don't know what's out there, and they don't know what's the answers to some of the questions. Let's talk about family. Family is just not biology, okay? So, in my attitude about things, you all become my family. I'm claiming you all as my grandchildren. Okay? And I love you guys. You say, how can you love somebody you don't know? Because love is a choice. Did you know that love is a choice? No. You know, when you get kind of rowdy and you talk back to your parents and you get in a tip, they don't stop loving you. They maybe not be happy with you, but they don't stop loving you because you choose to love. And that's one of the issues we got to raise. And so, since you're all my spiritual grandchildren, I've done this for my kids. One of the things that I do for my daughters, because all through our lives, we need to have it reinforced into us that we're people of sacred birth, that we're people that are loved, and I kind of feed the inner child. I have an inner child. Just ask my wife; she can tell you. Act like a little kid sometimes. I love them video games. I had to give away all my gaming system because I never had time to do work. And so what I want to do is when I see my daughters, and I got 4 grandsons, both girls and 2 boys, and I'm really proud of my one daughter. She was a surrogate for a couple that couldn't have children, and she gave them a set of twins, and it was the most amazing and giving thing that I've ever seen anybody do. But what I do when I leave my daughters is I give them a hug, and then I gently take their head, and I kiss them on the forehead, and I look in the eye and says, "You're a good girl." Just like she was still 6 years old. And she just absolutely goes, "Oh, Dad." And so, but she knows I love her, and she knows that she does things that, if I were her, I would not do some of the things that she does. But she's an adult. She's got two children. My oldest grandson is going to be 12 years old. He's part Native American, and so when he turns 12, we're going to do a sweat lodge for him, and he's going to have a name, a Native American name, and all that stuff. And I want to do that stuff so that my grandsons know who they are and know that they're accepted and they're loved. There's nothing that can change my love for you. I mean, let's see, whether you're religious or not religious. Maybe some of you don't really care about religion. I'm not interested in that stuff. Doesn't matter to me. I love you anyway. Or that if you're a particular faith, if you're big or short, if you're large or small, if you're male or female, if you're gay or straight, or if you're from this country or not. The color of your skin doesn't matter to me, whether you're Republican, Democrat, Independent, or some other particular group. It doesn't matter to me. I just love you anyway. In fact, I even love my enemies. Anybody want to know why? Oh, by the way, you can get prizes here. Anybody can tell me, and if you give me the quote. It's a quote by a person. What was it?
Keep your friends close and your enemies close.
Oh, that's no. Good try, though. Good try.
Forgive your enemies, but remember their enemies.
Oh. I'll give you a better hint. It's a quote from Jesus. What? Oh, you guys have your hand up first. Go ahead.
Love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you.
Absolutely. You know why that's a good thing to do? Because you're going to have enemies all your life. You're going to have people that grate on you. They're going to have people that cause you to have unforgiveness and even hatred toward them. You're going to have all kinds of reasons to be filled full of poison. And that's just what it is, poison. I once had a seminary professor who was one of my favorite professors, and I talked him into coming to an event I had, being a guest speaker. This guy could look you in the eye and plumb the depths of your soul and know where you're at spiritually. And so, was that a question? Oh. Anyway, he looked me in the eye and he goes, "Kent, what's wrong?" And I go, "Oh, nothing wrong. Everything's great. You're here." He goes, he wouldn't let it go. Till finally he made me tell him what was going on. And you know what? I don't even remember what the problem was at the time. All I remember was I started complaining and carrying on about how I've been treated wrongly. It wasn't fair. They did this to me. It isn't right. Life isn't good. And he stopped me. He says, "You need to forgive them." I says, "Can't do that." "Oh," he says, "you're going to arm wrestle with God over it? Because you know what? God can take that unforgiveness out of your heart and set you free from that so you don't have to walk around with that poison inside you. Now, are you going to do that or are you going to fight with God?" I says, "Well, that's not fair. I was happy being the victim." You know, we tend to be happy being the victims, but we don't have to be because we have a choice. And that's why Jesus said to love your enemies, because if you can love even your enemies, you can let it go for everybody. Now, that doesn't mean you allow things to happen to you. You protect yourself and you get in a good place. But it just means that you can always let go of those things, and we'll even give you an opportunity maybe to do that. So let's continue. Love is a choice. Well, maybe you've had a wonderful family, or maybe you are from a home that has abuse or neglect in it, or is lacking in love. Now, if it's second is the case, don't carry that. It's not yours. It's not your fault, and we can choose right here and now to love each other and be a spiritual family. Just as I chose to love you and call you my family, you can love each other and call each other family too. Is that right? Yeah. Okay. I got to use notes because otherwise I'm at 63, I'm losing my mind. So since I'm playing the spiritual role of grandfather, I want to offer you a blessing. This is what I do to my folks in my congregation, and especially what I do to my grandsons. I'm your spiritual grandfather, and you are my spiritual child, and for that I rejoice. You were designed by God to be a blessing to the world, so I dedicate your life to God so that you might realize that calling. I thank God for your place in my life, and I'm blessed simply because you're here today, simply because you're listening to me, simply because you're allowing me into your world. That those who came before us and who watch over us from heaven will live within you also. So that my experiences become part of your experiences. We're the sum total of our experiences, and we're the sum total of our life, and in the things that come along. We're not just DNA. We're not just propensities, which means the way that you tend to go. But we have a lot of our own things that we pick up. And that's why it's important, how you learn and what you learn and what you do with that learning. So I'm going to ask this. That may God protect you from harm, that God walk with you each day, that the love of God be ever among all of us and within our family here and your extended families outside these walls, and that we might show others what Christian love and a godly family looks like. Know that you are loved because of that. Show love to others. Amen and blessing. Okay, I'm ready for my PowerPoint now. More chances to win prizes here. It was during, I think she turned it on.